get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 3 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 3 gang, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Yeah, let's go. Man, that junk was crazy, man. Unc was like, man, whatever you get, I want in. Yeah. He was like, man, calm down, Unc. Man, Unc was like, all right, well, get me straight. Get me straight there, man. Get me straight there. Now, this is what I didn't know. I didn't know that Unc Dale, I didn't know that Unc messed with that D-block. I told you I was in the jail with him. I don't know what habits he picked up when he was up in the mountains or before he got locked up. I had no idea, you know what I mean? But he's being real aggressive about this D-block, you know what I mean? So this word, Taz trying to calm him down. The dude from the beach trying to calm him down. So the dude from the beach was like, man, look, Taz just told me he'll look out for me, man. I ain't really give Taz nothing, man, but I'm willing to give you something, man. This so you can chill out, man. This so you can chill out. When I heard that, I just looked. I looked at both of them, the dude from the beach, and I looked at Taz. I'm like, shh, niggas cream puffs, man. I was like, this junk crazy, man. I went on up the steps, went in my cell, seen my roommate. I was like, yo. I said, man, Unc had the pressure on them. I said, man, Unc just had the pressure on the dude from the beach. He's like, why? I said, because the dude from the beach got some D-block in through Taz. He was like, oh, they got some D-block too? I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? I said, but Unc said he wanted his cut. I said, man, Unc said he wanted his cut, man. He was like, man, he said, man, the dude from the beach. I said, yo, the dude from the beach look like he ready to buck. I was like, but you know he know Unc. You know what I mean? I said, dude from the beach look like he was ready to buck. I said, but you know Unc from the beach. And I said, goddamn, he probably, I said, for real, he probably was looking at it like, he ain't really got no wins though, for real, man. Because Unc looked like a psycho, man. I was like, but he tied in with Taz getting extorted. You know what I mean? Because that's what it was. You know what I mean? When there's a guy with a situation like this, you are being extorted. But this ain't nothing but karma. He trying to shine on me and my roommate. He trying to have it like, yeah, we gonna shine on Weezy and them. Yeah, we still spent money with you, bro, but you can't shine on us, bro, because we're gonna be the ones with it sooner or later. That's just how it go, man. That's just how the earth works. So I won't never trip it, even though he used to try to shine on us. But I'm sitting back looking like, I'm happy this is happening because I know Uncle's a maniac. The more he extorts, the more I can buy, y'all. So boom, I'm not tripping. I'm happy. I ain't lying. I'm a petty maniac when I want to be. So I'm seeing the junk. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing what's going on. You know what I mean? Me and my roommate tripped about it, stayed in there. I show my roommate all the junks. We split the junks perfectly. You know what I mean? We get 2 spoons apiece, 2 big jinks. You know what I mean? So me and my roommate happy. We happy. We in the cell messing with the Lala. You know what I mean? We in there messing with the Lala. So we stayed in until it was dinner time. You know what I mean? So we finally emerged. We come back out. You know what I mean? The whole pod is litty. You hear me? The whole pod is litty because the ones that didn't do the Lala is doing the D-block. It's doing the D-block, man. I look up, as soon as I come out the steps and I look, I see Unc at the front door. Unc at the front slider. Like he in our pod still, but he like this at the door. He's super diesel. He like, hey. Yeah, hey look. 3 eggs for 50. 4 eggs for 50. Yeah. Nah, I got it. He like, all right, look. He talking to a dude that 229 from 4 building and came all the way up our building steps. You know how dangerous that is? But he probably a worker or something from 4 building that be out in the perimeter a little bit. And he decided to come up the steps of 3 building to our pod 3D. Now he's not in our block, but he's on the outside of the slider door. It's 2 doors. It's where our door is at to get out our pod, and there's another door to get into the slider port. He's right there talking to dude trying to work a play. Dude trying to work a play. He turned around. He's like, look, just come to dinner. Just come to dinner, man. Just come to dinner. Just come to dinner, man. All right. He turned around. He seen me. He's like, what's up, Weezy? You good? I was like, yeah. He was like, everything's straight. I was like, yeah, everything's straight. I said, I had that for you tonight, huh? He was like, all right, that's a bet. He was like, but look, though, it ain't no rush, though, man. You know what I mean? He was like, look, I know you're going to take care of it. He was like, look, say word. He pulled up on me and asked me, did you have that yet? I was like, who? He was like, the dude Taz. I'm like, man, get out of here, man. He was like, what you do to him, Weezy? I said, man, I promise you, on everything I love, I did nothing to that guy. I did nothing to him, man. He was like, nah, you had to do something because he said, you know what I mean? When he first moved in the pod, you did him dirty. I was like, bro, I don't do nobody dirty. I don't know what he talking about, bro. I said, what is it? Like, when he told you what he did, what was the situation? He was like, no, what was the situation? I said, man, look, me and my roommate get a spoon, bro. I said, my roommate throw me a Feezy. We mess with a Feezy. I said, when the doors open, it was smelling like Lala. I said, want no Lala in the pod. I said, it was Friday, so he was probably waiting to go to visit on Saturday. So his dude pulled up from your city and asked, can we make a move for him? We look out for him. We didn't have nothing to look out for him. So they was probably already looking at it like, yeah, wait till tomorrow. We're going to get straight. So I said, ever since then, bro, they just been, you know what I mean? Acting like they got it out for us, bro. I said, but it's all good, though. I ain't tripping because I touch myself. So I ain't tripping. I was like, yeah, true indeed. You like, but still, though, like, I had to tell him that you my nephew, though. Like he wilding, though, man. He was like, no, look, make sure you get that money from them, though. So I was like, man. He was like, look, so don't even worry about it. Just take your time. He said, it ain't got to be tonight. Y'all go ahead and enjoy that, man. He said, I'll catch y'all, you know what I mean, sometime in the middle of the week, man. I got him, man. Don't worry about that. I got him, Weezy. I was like, man, you sure? He was like, yeah, I'm saying that because I already know how to be. You got to get your peoples to rush and just make it happen for me by the middle of the week. I was like, I'm going to make it happen for you, Unc. I dialed him up, y'all. So, boom. I went back to doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? I looked over at Taz and the dude from the beach. Like, they had a look on their face that you know what I mean? Like, man, like we in bed with a maniac. Like we just signed a contract with a psycho. Like, that's how they looking. Like, they over by the door. And he's the dude that got the work. The beach dude got the D block. Taz got the la. So they right there. They just talking. Like, it felt like it was a freaking, like a plan that they was trying to come up with the way they was talking. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm so nosy. I be seeing it. Like, I seen them. They were just standing at the door. Both of them. They the ones that got the work. So you would think they kind of be moving around doing them. But nah, they was just kind of like, just standing there like, you know what I mean? Like they was trying to, you know, holler about, you know what I mean, what they was going to do. So they got Unc running around making majority of the plays. You know what I mean? It's like he the muscle. He running around making majority of the plays. And I felt like, you know what I mean, Unc was right. You know what I mean? So when we come back from dinner, I guess that was around the time when Unc finally got his nose dirty. You know what I mean? So when we come back from dinner, man, I seen Unc, man, that's word. Like he was straight when he went to dinner. We came back. I seen Unc, man. Unc came out the cell, man. Unc was like, what's up, Weezy? What's good? I was like, ain't nothing, man. He was like, man. I was like, you all right, Unc, man? He was like, yeah, hold on. Yeah, my bad. I said, Unc, you mess with that, Unc, man. He was like, yeah, I mess with the train. Yeah, man. I don't do that la, man. The train don't stay in your system long, so you know how it is, man. You know. Yeah, man. He like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna get my nose dirty with that. Yeah, the la gonna get sold, but I'm gonna get my nose dirty with the D block, though. You already know that, though. He was like, you don't mess with it. I was like, nah, I don't mess with it. He said, what about you? I said, nah, we don't get jiggy with that, man. We don't mess with that, man. He was like, yeah, that's good. You don't need to be messing with it, man. He was like, man, come sit down over here by the steps with me, man. I was like, walked over there, like I'm like I didn't sit down with him, but he sat down on the steps. I get like to the, you know, like with the railings up right there. I'm like this. So I'm like, what's up? What's good? I'm like, he on the steps right there. I'm like, what's up? He was like, man, hey, look, man, like for real though, man, like I'm trying to really get some money, man. So like what you would say if I can get him to get something for you, what'll be the gap, man? I said, man, a 3-way gap is nuts though. I said, cause we gotta look out for him. You know what I mean? And look out for you. You know what I mean? Unc was like, who said 3-way gap? I was like, what? He was like, yeah, who said a 3-way gap? I was like, what you mean who said a 3-way gap? I said, I just said a 3-way gap. I said, because it's me, Taz, and you. He was like, nah. He said, minus one of them niggas, Weezy. He was like, minus one of them, Weezy. I was like, minus one of them. I said, who, minus you out the car? He was like, nah, not me. Not me, man. Not me. I said, who, Taz? He was like, yeah. So I said, so you trying to tell me this will be the last time I'll be able to get one pack? You know what I mean? He was like, probably be. He said, because like if he see what's going down, like you know, he ain't gonna do it again with you involved. But he was like, he still gotta look out for me one way or the other. I was like, man, listen, man, you litty right now. I said, you talking crazy right now. I said, don't talk things that you think ain't gonna come true, man. I said, because I definitely can get a zip. You know what I mean? I definitely can make a zip happen. So I said, me and you trying to split a halftime a piece? I said, you need to let me know, man. I said, he can bring that much back. He was like, yeah, he bring an ounce back. And he bring other stuff with that too. Like he go in there and swallow 20 some balloons. I'm like, for real, man? He was like, yeah, he a beast with them balloons. I ain't gonna lie. He a beast with them balloons, man. But he was like, nah, look. It's like he was thinking for a minute. He was like, nah, look. He was just looking into space. He was like, I said, oh, he was like, oh, yeah, look. Look, though, do this. Go ahead and get the ounce. Let me know when you got it. I'm going to handle it from there. I was like, handle it from there. I said, nah, look. I said, man, listen. I know you might think you got it under control. I said, but look, though, I would need to talk to him along with you if I can know that my stuff is going to be secured. You know what I mean? I said, no offense. I said, when we doing business, I can't be calling my peoples to get something for me and it ain't going to work. You know what I mean? I said, it got to be like, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? He was like, what I say, nephew? What I say? I said, all right. I said, so look, you gonna let me holler at the little prick? He was like, yeah, he is a little prick though. I said, man, that nigga a little fucking prick, Unc. So let me know when you ready to talk, man. So boom, Unc dip off. Unc went back to the cell. Unc was litty, you hear me? Unc was litty, man. Unc went back to 34. Probably went to sleep. He probably went to sleep, man. I was like, man, it's junk crazy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, later on that day, I looked up, Unc was back. Unc moving around. Unc walking around that junk looking like a big Beezy, you hear me? That's what he looked like. He ain't had a hat or nothing like that, man. He was bald headed, you know what I mean? Unc just was like, you know what I mean? Unc was, he was walking around on the back of the state shoes, man. Unc was a maniac, man. Unc walking around on the back of the state shoes, man. The 3-strap black and white junks, man. Unc walking on the back of them junks. Unc with like a size 13. Unc pulled, pigeon toed and everything. Unc be walking around in the jokes. I'm like, this joke crazy. So he back talking to Taz and Dude. You know what I mean? So I see him take Taz to the side and holler at Taz Dodo. So they back by cell 12. Next thing you know, he was like, hey, nephew, let me holler at you right quick. I was like, he was like, yeah, come here. I was like, yo, part son, let me back. I peeled off, went over there. Walked over there where they was at. I'm like, what's up? He like, can we all just get along, man? Come on, man. Can we all just get along? Taz was like, I ain't got no problem with him. I ain't got no problem. I said, bro, I ain't got no problem with you, bro. I ain't do nothing to you, bro. I said, bro, listen, not that I got to explain anything. I said, for your information, though, I said, on that Friday, my roommate only had a spoon. I said, he only had a spoon. I said, bro, he gave me a Feezy. He lit a Feezy with me. And he sold the other couple of Feezes to somebody else. I said, bro, we really didn't have nothing, bro. I said, you think this because you smelled a la in the air that it's for sale, bro? Like how you be having it? I said, bro, we didn't have it. He was like, I mean, it's all good, though. That's neither here nor there, though. Like, what's up with this ounce, though? I'm like, bro, what's up? Like, he was like, yeah, as long as I get half, I don't care what it is. I looked at Unc, I'm like, Unc a petty maniac. That sounds like a good deal. That sounds like a good deal, Weezy. I'm like, so this is what you're saying, though. Like, my people's got to link with your people's. That's all I need to do. Get them to get the zip. I ain't got to pay no money. I ain't got to do nothing. He was like, nah, just get them to get the zip. Get them to meet my people's. And we just go from there. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, this is what I'm saying, though, bro. I was like, is it a lock, though, bro? Is it a guaranteed lock? He was like, is it a lock? He was like, bro, you seen me miss since I've been here? I ain't missed since I've been here, man. Unc was like, nah, I can vouch for that, Weezy, man. You go over that joint every weekend, man. He crazy, man. But that's what I like about him, though, man. He crazy, man. He crazy, man. I'm like, all right, look, though, bro. I'm out to try to make this happen. I said, as long as everything's straight, me and you got to understand it. I ain't got no problem with you, though, but me or my roommate. I said, that was y'all. So I was like, bro, listen. So he was like, nah, you know, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. So I dipped off. I went and hollered at my roommate, let him know we got a situation about to happen. I need a 3-way, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to call my mom to do all of this, you know what I mean? So my roommate gave me a 3-way. I got on the phone. I made it happen. Y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I made it jump happen, man. So like I gotta wait till further in the week to make this happen. Like this is still the beginning of the week. So I'm like, yo, this John a lot. Like hopefully, you know what I mean? Like everything could be straight. But I told my man, don't take it to his peoples until Friday. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to be extra precautious about it. You know what I mean? Like majorly precautious about it because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like I don't know this dude from Mechanic Paint and he already out. Like he don't really rock with me like that for nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on. Like Unc got the jump, like a good situation. Unc driving the car. But Uncle's a fiend on the low, like, you know what I mean? Uncle's psycho and a fiend. So like, I gotta make sure I'm playing the ball with my money. You know what I mean? So that's why I said Friday game. So nobody was tripping about that. Nobody was tripping about that. It's like Tuesday, you know what I mean? So I started noticing on Tuesday, but it was like with us doing this business, it's like they kind of forgot slightly about the $50 me and my roommate had owed. Now, I went on it like I was trying to buck. Unc told me to get with him in the middle of the week. But like, for real, man, I remember I told Unc, I was like, yo, Unc, man, I'm gonna take care of it. Unc was like, what? Take care of what? I was like, I'm petty though, y'all. I was like, I'm handling it, Unc, man. He was like, man, all right, man. All right. Just blow me off. I'm like, this junk crazy. Pause. I said, blow me off. That was nuts. I said, man, that junk crazy, man. You know what I mean? So I ain't say nothing though, y'all. I ain't say nothing, man. I ain't wanting to be like, I'm going buck, but I started thinking that maybe Peter can pay Paul. You know what I mean? Like when every week when I get this, maybe I can give Unc back his 4 spoons. And me and my roommate ain't gotta do nothing. So when Wednesday came, my roommate was like, yo, what's up? What's the information? We can take care of this. I was like, yo, bro, hold on. I said, don't move so fast. He was like, what? I said, nah. I said, I think Uncle don't forgot. I said, nah, but I ain't gonna carry on like that. I said, when we get this, when he come through with the jump, I'm about to get this weekend. I said, I'll go ahead and pay your money and we just give him back his 4 spoons. You know what I mean? He was like, for real? I was like, I'm just gonna give him back his 4 spoons. I said, they ain't saying nothing about the jump. You know what I mean? So he was like, I don't care. You know, it don't matter to me. You know what I mean? It don't matter to me. I'm like, all right. So Wednesday, so after Wednesdays, now it's Thursday. You know what I mean? Thursday, like for real, like I told y'all, like you would look at the dude Taz, like he just had the eyes of, like, you know what I mean? Like he was just a psycho, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like he had the eyes of like, I'm plotting, I'm doing something sneaky, like something is going on. So I can remember being in the cell. So I'm in the cell, I hear the police, it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It's probably like 2:30 in the morning. Ain't nobody out there working or nothing, but I hear the police. I'm in 41. I'm like, so I come to the door. The lights off in the park. I come to the door. I'm looking. I'm like, and I start seeing dudes on their door just looking like towards this way now. I can't see cell 34. That's all the way in the cut. Can't see that. You know what I mean? But I can hear like some noise, the police handcuffs. I can hear all of that. So I see the dude. I was like, yo. They were like, I said, who? He was like, 34. I'm like, I look back at my room. He was like, who they shaking down? I'm like, bro, they said they inside Unc cell, man. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, man. So now we on the door. You know what I mean? Man, my word, man, look up. Man, they walking Unc out. I was like, no, this can't be happening, man. This can't be happening. They walking Unc out. They walking him out the jump, man. I was like, hold on, man. Hold on, man. I'm like, no. So I didn't want to yell. I promise you, I was trying to get Unc to look at me so bad as he was coming down the steps. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't look. You'll think, man, we're about to do this business deal together. You'll look my direction. You'll look my direction. So I'm like, this jump crazy. So they take him out. So they go in and sell some more. You know what I mean? His roommate don't get locked up. So when the counter cleared that morning, you know what I mean? We come out for breakfast. I beam down there. I get down there so fast to sell 34. My word, I put up on this. What happened, bro? He was like, man, look. He was like, man, they trying to say that somebody dropped the kite on him and say that he the one selling that D block around the compound. And dude almost had an old dude almost OD'd on the joint in one building. I was like, what? Now, dudes weren't ODing like that back then. This is before fit, all of that. This is before that fentanyl game, all of that. This is before all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Dudes would go out sometime off that D block. It was the riggedy. We called it riggedy, the raw. It was the raw. Then you might go out every blue moon. Not like that, though. But they said a dude that went out slightly, but they revived him type, you know what I mean? But somebody dropped the kite on Unc, man, so they grabbed him on investigation. So I'm like, man, this is wild right here, man. So now, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy because this is crazy because this the Thursday now. We got a couple days before Unc's supposed to be, you know what I mean? We got a couple days before the play, but I'm like, yo, dude, I'm about to put this play together anyway. You know what I mean? I'm about to put the play together anyway because I'm like, Friday, I was glad. That's why I told my man Friday on the jump. You know what I mean? That's why I'm glad I told my man Friday on the jump, man. So, goddamn, we in the pod. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go holler at Unc. I'm gonna go holler at Unc. They said they moved Unc next door. He wasn't in downstairs, the downstairs joint. They moved him in 3C downstairs. They say they put him in cell 12. So I go over there one day. So I go over there. You know what I mean? We out working. I go over that jump and I seen Unc in the door. I was like, Unc, what's up, man? He was like, man, somebody wrote a kite on me, man. He was like, I think I know who did it too. I was like, who? He was like, that nigga Taz. Either him Well, that other nigga he be with, or his roommate. His roommate went from, his roommate, I ain't even say what Taz's roommate was from. He was like, oh, it was his roommate. I was like, why you say that? Can you prove that shit? He was like, nah, I mean, I know it's them. He was like, who the fuck else would try to get me out of here? He said, they ain't got shit on me, man. They trying to say I sold the shit to the nigga in one building. I ain't sell that shit. I ain't only know that motherfucker that went out. So I'm like, man, this shit crazy, man. I said, man, look, let me ask you a question though. He was like, what? I said, man, should I still make that play with the dude Taz? He was like, yeah, make that shit, man, and buck on his ass. I was like, buck, he gonna have to work first. He was like, well, take everything. I said, nah, man, I ain't going in there doing that shit, man. He was like, man, look, fuck that shit, man. He was like, man, I'm telling you, man, that nigga a bitch, man. He said, man, you better hope I don't get out tomorrow. He said, man, fucking investigator told me, man, they might fuck around and let me out tomorrow. They don't get shit. They talking to the dude that went out. They trying to figure out. He ain't gonna tell it. I ain't sell it to the nigga. He said, nigga bought it for me and sold it to him. So I'm like, man, this shit crazy, man. So I was like, bro, here, bro. I gave him some, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, man, you know, he don't mess with no cigarettes or nothing. So I ain't had no food at the time to get to him. I had food, but like, I just came down and hollered at him. So he was like, if I stay the weekend, man, put me a care pack. I was like, all right, I got you. You know what I mean? So Friday rolled around. It's probably like 3 o'clock. It's probably like 3 o'clock, man. I promise you, man. Slide open up. All you seen was goddamn Unc coming back through that bitch like this. Niggas like, oh shit. And niggas like, I'm looking over at Taz and them standing by 14, him and the dude from the beach like this. They like, I was like, yeah, hey, look. God damn, man, I'm stinky as a bitch. Man, oh my door, I need a shower. I went up the steps like this. I need a shower, man. I'm stinky as a bitch, man. He ain't say nothing to Taz. This word. I went upstairs, got his shit. Went hopped in the shower. I don't get a shower for a minute. I don't get out the shower, went to sell lotion up, got himself together, came back down the steps. Man, I came back down the steps, man. He pulled straight up on Taz and them, man. They be like, motherfucker, one of y'all niggas told on me, nigga. That's how y'all motherfuckers. Taz was like, told? Nigga, who the fuck? He was like, nigga, one of y'all niggas told. I know one of y'all dropped the kite on me, nigga. Who the fuck trying to get rid of me? Who the fuck trying to get rid of me? I was like, God damn, man. He was like, man, ain't nobody trying to get rid of you, huh? Fuck you talking about, man? Fuck you talking that shit crazy about? I was like, man, shit. I'm looking at this shit like, I'm glad I ain't get that work, man. I'm glad I ain't get that work. So Taz calmed him down again. Unc was snapping. He assured him that he wasn't the one that did what he thought he did. And everything kind of got back copacetic a little bit. Everything kind of calmed down because I'm thinking about that work. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about that work. He turned around to dude from the beach. He was like, what's up? You getting on this weekend? Dude like, yeah. We trying. He like, look, what's up? You still fucking with Weezy? I was like, yeah. He ain't say nothing to me though. My peoples ain't got it. He say that. I walked over there. I was like, what's up, Unc, man? Unc was like, yeah, man, what's up? They can't keep a black man down. I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, glad to see you back though. But I was like, look though, bro. I heard what you said. I said, I ain't put it together yet, bro. I said, like, I ain't know what the hell was going on, bro. He was like, nah, go ahead and put it together. Go ahead and tell him to drop it off now. I was like, all right. So I told my roommate. My roommate's like, you still gonna do it? I'm like, yeah. So I hollered at my roommate. Boom. Got me the 3-way. Everything went smooth. I went back and told Unc, look, everything's straight. Go see if he got it. Because my people said they gave it to his peoples. Unc hollered at him. He went and hopped on the phone. He came back and told me that Unc said it was straight. So now we're just waiting on Saturday. I promise you, man, that morning, Unc pulled up on me early that morning. Taz will never go to about before we count. That's when he'll go to visit. He'll go to visit like 10:30 or something like that. Man, Unc pulled up on me, man. Unc was like, man, look, Weezer, man. He said, but I'm gonna tell you like this, man. He said, look, you might not be able to be in the room because I'm gonna do it fast, man. He was like, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm gonna rob that bitch. Yeah, because I know he the one that did that shit. Ain't nobody else gonna fucking write no kite on me, man. He said, man, I'm gonna rob that bitch. I'm gonna take all this shit and I don't give a fuck about what he doing after that. He said, as long as I'm around him, he gotta play fair. So I don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm gonna rob his ass today though. I'm robbing. Unc guys were just like this. Unc was like, I'm robbing that motherfucker today. Yeah, straight up, I'm robbing that motherfucker today, Weezy. He said, you know what? I ain't even got time to be punching a motherfucker, man. And he was like, look, that nigga whipped out the knife. I was like, what's that for? I was like, come on, Unc, you big as a bitch. You gotta have a fucking weapon for that fucking pipsqueak? He was like, I ain't got time to be fighting this motherfucker, man. I'm just trying to get this shit whipped fast, man. I'm getting old, man. Goddamn, I'm knocking that motherfucking 46, Weezy. I was like, God damn, you is getting up there, man. He was like, yeah, look, fuck that shit, man. I'm about this, man. I was like, man, put that shit away, man. He was like, nah, look, though, when I get that shit, goddamn, me and you just gonna have to go get situated, man. You know what I mean? Goddamn. I was like, man, look, Man, real shit don't fuck this up, man. I was like, man, cause you know you got my shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, man, for some reason, I don't trust that motherfucker nigga from the beach. I don't trust his ass, man. So nigga gotta move fast. You just be ready. You just be ready. So I'm like, all right, man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. You know what I mean? So goddamn nigga, just waited. And nigga went to visit. You know what I mean? They called us for lockdown. You know what I mean? So we went to sell for lockdown. Goddamn, trying to clear it. That nigga was gone. You know what I mean? We went to lunch, came back. We out the pod. Goddamn, that nigga come back through the door. Come back through the door. Get a CO to pass, same routine. She opened up 14. The door opened up, he going to jump. You know what I mean? When he going to jump, Unc went in that bitch right behind him. He ain't say nothing though. Like, he was looking at the door like he was looking for me. He was like, but I didn't want to go in there in the middle of a robbery. He got my work, but I trust Unc not to do nothing stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna have to wait this shit out because I didn't know that nigga got a knife. I'm not going in that motherfucker, man. Hell no. He fuck around and unalive this nigga. And I don't got nothing to do. I seen niggas go down like that. Fuck that. So Unc went in that bitch, the door closed, boom, cut went up. Cut went up. So they in that jump for a minute. They in that jump, man. Cell break got down. All you heard was, man, come on, Unc, man. No, Unc, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You looked up, you see Taz's roommate go to the door like, he was like, man, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, man. Pussy ass nigga. Get that shit up, bitch. Yeah, fuck wrong with you, nigga. I told you, nigga, don't be fucking trying to duck me, nigga. He was like, that shit ain't mine, That shit ain't mine. Dude from the beach run to the door. He was like, man, get the door open, man. Get the door open. That's when I ran to the door. I was like, hold on, man. Now it's too much going on. So me and the dude from the beach right there, the door opened up. That was word. Unc was like, man, motherfucker, get that shit up. Get the rest of the shit up. He was like, man, Unc. That nigga was on the floor. When I came in that bitch, that nigga was on the floor, on his butt, legs in the air, looking like he trying to block that motherfucking knife. That's word. Unc was like, fuck, get up, bitch. Fuck wrong with you. He was like, man, come on, Unc, man. Come on, Unc, man. I already gave it to you, man. He's like, nah, where the rest of the fucking la-la at? Where Weezy la-la at? Where the rest of that shit? He was like, man, look, you got everything. You got everything, Unc. Come on, man. Don't play. Unc was like, motherfucker, I should hit your dumb ass. He was like, man, come on, Unc. Dude from the beach was like, man, come on, man. Unc was like, motherfucker, you better back up. I don't give a fuck with you from the beach, bitch. You know, the Virginia Beach niggas will call you a bitch fast. I was like, motherfucker, you better back up. I don't care if you from the beach, bitch. Fuck around with you. Get the fuck back. I said, yo, Unc. I came around the corner like this. I was like, yo, Unc. Unc was like, that nigga Jalen was right. He was like, yeah, he got some more shit, man. Here's some of the shit, Weezy. He was like, here. I was like, grab the balloons. Them shit still smell like Coca-Cola. That's my word. I was like, how much this is, Unc? He was like, look, that ain't everything. This motherfucker got some more. It's either in his stomach or it's in his motherfucking room. I said, you ain't see him throw all that? He was like, man, look, this nigga got some more, man. Dude was like, man, look, all I want is my shit, Unc. Just give me my dope, man. That's all I want. Unc was like, nah, that's my dope. When he say that, I don't know. The dude from the beach just was like, fuck it, man. Because Unc had just, I don't hear it looked like he was out of control. Dude from the beach was just like, fuck it, man. Dude from the beach just took off on Unc. Boom! He hit Unc ass. When he hit Unc ass, Taz jumped on him. He grabbed Unc. He was no match for Unc, but he jumped on Unc. And he grabbed him like this. Unc got the hammer like this. Unc fall back on the bed. The hammer hit Unc. Unc stabbed his goddamn self, y'all. So boom! His word hit himself. He get on the jump. This is my word. He was like, Unc get up, just start snapping. And you see the red mark right here. The knife over there. This word, Unc like, Unc get up, just start throwing blows every goddamn whip. So them niggas fighting right on the goddamn script. And they fighting right there on the script, man. That's my word. The lady in the booth pinned the whole shit. She pinned the whole shit. She called the floor officer. She ain't called a co-ed. She called the floor officer. We look up. They was like, yo, the floor officer about to come back in here. Because the floor officer be floating from this to the hole, from that. Man, the floor officer came back in that bitch. He looking. He didn't even come in our whole party. He was looking inside. He was like, they got on this walkie-talkie. Next thing you know, police coming. They like, yo, the police coming in this bitch. When I saw that, y'all know what I was doing. I went up the steps like this. I was like, haul ass up them steps, y'all. So boom. I went still about 41. This word police coming in that bitch. Man, what the fuck going on here? Who's going to stop? Lock down. They locked all our ass down. Locked us down. More police coming in that motherfucker. This is my word. And they came in that bitch, man. Them niggas was still in that bitch fighting. They was still in that bitch fight. I gotta give it to Taz and them. They didn't fucking lay down. Them niggas was when that got them niggas went at Unc. That's the word. They went at Unc. Even with the knife. Them niggas went at Unc, man. That's why I was like, how the fuck they let Unc extort them like that? That shit was crazy. Police coming that bitch. Got all their ass handcuffed. Sitting at separate tables. They got all them niggas handcuffed sitting at separate tables. They didn't handcuff the nigga goddamn Taz's roommate. They told him to get the fuck out. They told him to get out the way. He was standing over by the office. Man, they went in that bitch, start shaking that motherfucker down. They start shaking that motherfucker down, man. They found one balloon that got fumbled under the bed. Then they found the knife. So they was like, who knife is this? Who knife is this? Who knife is this? Everybody quiet. He's looking at Unc. Unc looking like, nah, that ain't my shit. Now I don't know who knife that is. They was like, ain't nobody going. All right, everybody that was fighting, going to the fucking hole. My word, they locked all them niggas up. They locked the dude from the beach up. They locked Unc up. And they locked motherfucking the dude goddamn Taz up. They locked all their ass up. All them niggas went in the hole for investigation for that goddamn weed nobody claimed and for that motherfucking knife. Unc beat the weed case. I ended up going back there hollering at Unc. Unc beat the weed case because Unc goddamn that shit won't Unc sell. You know what I mean? They found the weed in the joint. Goddamn, the dude that just went to the VI. They checked to see that Taz had just went to the VI. So the only possibility it could be that was his. Goddamn, Unc got hit for that knife though, man. He tried to rumble the jump, but he got hit for the jump, man. You know what I mean? Goddamn, that shit was nuts. The dude from the beach, he ended up getting out. He was the only one that fucking got out. He was the only one that got out, man. And I seen him later on when I was in 2 building before I went to Lawrenceville. I had seen him. But everybody else got transferred, man. Unc got sent back to the mountains. And the nigga goddamn Taz got sent to Sussex 1, where they was saying niggas was over there robbing his fucking brains out. That's the word I got. Niggas was robbing his fucking brains out, man. He was trying to get the pack over there, and niggas was robbing his brains out, man. So all that shit ended up being crazy, man. But y'all already know the count. God damn it. I kept them goddamn balloons, which wasn't a half a zip. It wasn't nowhere near a zip. That shit was probably like a fucking over a quarter. So I was able to get away with about a quarter of la-la, you know what I mean? And goddamn motherfucking that $50 that I owe Unc, I got away with that. But it was crazy because when I used to go back there and holler at Unc, man, Unc had a whole motherfucking pool shot of that D block back there. He kept that shit. He didn't let them catch that. I don't know how he cuffed that or what he did with it, but Unc went back there to the hole with that damn dope he robbed them for, man. Unc was a fucking maniac, man. But that was a crazy situation. That's the end of the damn story, though, y'all. And I appreciate y'all for watching another one, man. Y'all already know what to do, man. Stay out the way, man. It's cool to stay out the way, man. Come be regular. Don't be scared to be regular, man. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This was the Tuesday banger. So let me y'all do this one. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But be safe out there, people. And stay your ass all the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.